The second she stormed out of her front door, arms flailing, I knew this was going to be a classic. You, what in the actual heck do you think you're doing? I can't even get into my own driveway. Her voice, sharp and high-pitched, sliced through the humid morning air, making the nearby birds scatter from the oak tree. I wiped a bead of sweat from my brow, the smell of fresh asphalt and sun-baked concrete thick in my nostrils. I slowly turned from my conversation with the foreman, a faint smile on my face that I instantly hid. "Ma'am, I believe there's been a misunderstanding," I said, my voice calm, almost too calm for the situation. "A misunderstanding? Are you serious?" She shrieked, her face a blotchy red that clashed horribly with her perfectly coiffed blonde bob. "That truck is blocking my property. This is outrageous. I have a pool party to host, and now my guests can't even park. This is completely unacceptable. Where's your manager?" she demanded, eyes scanning the crew as if trying to find a magical hierarchy button. I sighed, a long, weary exhalation that was swallowed by the rumble of the nearby jackhammer. I felt my patience, a very limited resource on a Monday morning, draining away faster than water through a sieve. "I am the manager, ma'am," I replied, gesturing to the company logo on my hard hat. She scoffed, a truly theatrical sound that came straight from the back of her throat. "Right? And I'm the Queen of England. I'm gonna call the police. You can't just come into a neighborhood and do this. This is a quiet, peaceful street, and you are disrupting the entire community with your construction mess." She pulled out her phone, her fingers flying across the screen, her mouth a tight, angry line. The sound of her phone's keypad clicking was a new layer of irritation on top of the already sweltering heat. I leaned back against the hood of my truck, watching the drama unfold with a detached, sort of morbid fascination. My foreman, Marco, a man who had seen it all and then some, just shook his head and got back to work. A few neighbors had started to peek out of their windows, drawn by the commotion. I felt their judgmental eyes, but I also saw the subtle flicker of curiosity. What was she so upset about? My stomach did a little flip of anticipation, a nervous energy that had nothing to do with fear and everything to do with the impending victory. The police cruiser arrived about 10 minutes later, its blue and red lights flashing silently against the bright sunlight. Officer Davis stepped out, the tall, no-nonsense guy I'd seen on patrol before. Brenda immediately launched into her story, her voice now filled with a performative tremor of victimhood. "Officer, thank goodness you're here. This man, he's blocking my brand new driveway. I just had it paved last week, and now he's got a huge truck parked right in front of it. It's a total violation of my property rights." She pointed a shaky, manicured finger at me and then at the truck. The officer listened patiently, his face a mask of professional neutrality. He then looked at me, a silent question in his eyes. I pushed myself off the truck's hood and reached into the cab, retrieving a rolled-up set of blueprints and a large manila envelope. "Officer," I began, my voice clear and steady, "I'd be happy to explain." I unfurled the blueprints and laid them out on the truck's hood, anchoring them with my coffee cup. The design was simple, but the details were all there: lot lines, easements, and property borders, all in stark, black ink. Brenda scoffed. "What is that? Some kind of monopoly board?" "It's my driveway. I've lived here for 15 years. The officer ignored her, his eyes scanning the detailed map. I then handed him the manila envelope. "The deed to the property, officer," I said, my voice dropping to a low, conspiratorial tone. "Dated last month. I can also show you the permit from the city." A hush fell over the scene, broken only by the distant whir of a power saw. Brenda's mouth, which had been open to continue her tirade, simply hung there, frozen. Her face, which had been a fire engine red, began to drain of color, turning a sickly shade of white. Her eyes darted from the blueprints to the manila envelope and then to me. What do you mean? This is my driveway, she stammered, her conviction wavering for the first time. Ma'am, the officer said, his voice gentle but firm. According to these documents, the property line for your lot ends at the edge of that grassy area right there. He pointed a finger at the ground, a mere 3 feet from where the asphalt for her new driveway began. This entire lot, from here to the street, belongs to him. He gestured to me, his mouth now twitching with a barely suppressed smile. The silence that followed was so complete you could hear the buzz of a single fly. Brenda's jaw dropped. It wasn't just my truck. It was the whole lot. The driveway she had been complaining about wasn't hers at all. She had paved over my property, thinking it was an extension of her own. Her eyes went from mine to the officer to the fresh asphalt, a dawning horror spreading across her face. But, she whispered, her voice a thin, pathetic reed. The officer shook his head. Ma'am, you've paved a part of Mr. Henderson's property. He has the right to have his equipment here. In fact, he's planning to build a house on this lot. You are currently trespassing. He said the last word with a pointed stare, and Brenda's shoulders sagged, all the fight draining out of her. She looked utterly defeated, pitiful, humiliated figure standing there in her expensive tennis outfit. Her pool party guests were going to find out, and the whole neighborhood was going to know she was wrong. The ultimate justice. I had the satisfaction of watching her retreat. Her head hung low, a full-on walk of shame back into her house. The silence, so long held, was finally broken by Marco's appreciative chuckle. Some people, he said, shaking his head. I just smiled. The sun felt a little warmer, the air a little lighter. Sometimes, the most powerful and satisfying revenge isn't about screaming back. It's about holding the cards, staying calm, and proving, without a doubt, that you own the lot both literally and figuratively. What a day. What a perfect, karmic justice-filled day.